Now, let us talk to Arseniy Yatsenyuk, the former Prime Minister of Ukraine, who's on the line from The Hague. Good afternoon to you.
Hello, John. Pleasure to talk to you.
Always good to have you here. You must have been so frustrated that the attention of the world and of the world's media and of the political agenda had been rather overlooked for Ukraine in focusing so exclusively on the Middle East crisis until now.
Well, it's life, On the other hand, look, we managed to get, I hope we will get, NATO's summit statement where Ukraine is a key issue for the NATO member states. And look, we didn't get any kind of additional NATO membership perspectives, but at least we got a clear commitment of NATO member states that they stand by Ukraine and they are ready to support Ukraine in our righteous fight against the Russian invasion. And I was listening to a NATO Secretary General Rutte, and he was very vocal, and he was very clear, saying that look, the biggest, not just rival, but the real enemy to the NATO member states is Russia, and we need to help Ukraine in order to give security to our nations. So it seems to me that Ukraine is still in the spotlight. And you mentioned my president. He said that Putin is thinking of the war. He's not just thinking, John. He's acting. And that's these kind of atrocities that his military is committing, he has to be brought to justice. And that's another issue, because I am sitting right now in The Hague, and it's not only the place for the NATO summit. This is the place for the international criminal justice. And we need to do our utmost in order to bring to justice designated war criminal Putin.
Yes, we now know, certainly it seems that President Trump will be sitting down with Volodymyr Zelensky.
We hope so, John. I don't know for sure.
No.
That's what President Trump said.
Well, then let us hope the meeting goes ahead. I wonder if that goes ahead, Arseniy, what do you hope or what do you believe will flow from that meeting?
Look, John. I was looking into the data and overall support of all NATO member states to Ukraine. And, here is the thing, and that's what I was just talking to the Commissioner for Defense of the European Union. Could you imagine that an overall support of EU and US NATO member states to Ukraine is less than 0.1% to GDP? 0.1, not 1%. So it's in the interest of the United States and NATO member states for Ukraine to prevail in this war.
Yeah.
This is the best way to secure your own security. So answering the question you've phrased, what I expect from the US administration, I expect whether Americans are in or out. And it's not just a verbal gymnastics. If they are in, we expect that the President of the United States is to ask the Congress to provide an additional security supplement package for Ukraine.
Yeah.
In any kind of form. We don't ask for any kind of blank check. It could be a loan, it could be land lease, whatever. We can develop a number of mechanisms.
Yes.
If Americans are out, it means that Russians are in.
Yes.
And let me remind you, you just asked me that Ukraine is not in the spotlight due to the Middle East and due to the strikes of Americans on Iranian nuclear assets. Look, Iran is an ally to Russia. They are playing the same game.
Yeah.
They are comrades in arms against the West and against Ukraine.
Yeah, that is certainly true. I just want to ask you this. The chair of the Ukrainian Foreign Affairs Committee has withdrawn his nomination for President Trump to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. He said that he'd lost faith and belief in President Trump. He said he'd chosen the path of appeasement. Arseniy, do you believe President Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize?
It's not up to me to decide whether he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize or no. It's up to the Nobel Peace Prize Committee. But look, what I believe the president is to make, it's up to President Trump to decide what kind of legacy he wants to get. Because every president has to think about his legacy. He is the leader of the free world. He is the leader of the strongest and most powerful nation with the strongest military in the global history. I strongly believe that he doesn't deserve to be outplayed and cheated by designated war criminal Putin. And it's up to him to decide whether he really wants to get the Nobel Prize. So my message to President Trump, Mr. President, I wish you to have Nobel Prize for peace in Ukraine and for peace in the Middle East. But just please do everything you can, and you can a lot.
So, look,
in order to achieve this peace.
All right, that is a clear message. It's impossible to forget, isn't it? President Trump saying just a couple of weeks ago that he thought he should let Ukraine and Russia fight it out. He used the comparison of children fighting in a playground. Extraordinary thing to hear. What sort of impact has that had on the ground?
That's not the locker room fight. Far from that. This is the fight for the survival of the Ukrainian people. This is the fight for the Ukrainian nation. This is the fight for the survival of the remnants of the global order. And this is the fight for the global role of the United States in this crazy world. We want to win this fight. And we wish the US to win this fight together with us. And we wish the incumbent president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, to be the leader of the free world, but not to be a diminished leader of the free world by dictators and autocrats.
Arseniy, thank you so much for talking to us as always. I look forward to talking to you again in the near future. Arseniy Yatsenyuk there, former Prime Minister of Ukraine.